this feeling, baby, we're invincible.
Hi guys, and welcome back to another episode and a brand new season of Rebuilding Notts County. As always, if you are enjoying the save, drop a like on the video, that'd be tremendous. We have a new stadium. We've moved in. I totally forgot this was actually going to be a thing that happened. 25,600 seats at Notts County Stadium. So, still not entirely sure what to name it, but this is probably the best episode to give that kind of advice. So, go down to the comments. Give me a title. You know, we've already had some options, but if you've already submitted one, just put it down there again and just like ones you see that you enjoy, and I'll go around and I'll hopefully get it changed soon, because we can't just have it be called Notts County Stadium. I wish FM was a little bit more creative with these. This is bad even for FM. Usually it picks club legends sometimes, but that's just particularly piss poor. The board are also upping our youth level to 1 with another 4 million investment in training facilities, which is delightful. They've decided that I'm not allowed to sign players over the age of 30. Fine by me. Didn't really care about that one anyway. They wanted me to sign high reputation players too, but I managed to get rid of that because that would be a devastating thing. Because frankly, I don't know, the situation we're in with our rep in that is that quite simply, we can't sign those players because we're not good enough. They won't join us. We have players, like we've had our goalkeeper, Marvin Suarez, has been receiving bids from clubs in the Championship and saying that he wants to move. Why would you leave a Champions League club to go to the Championship? Are you mental, Marvin? And it does seem to have been a summer where a lot of players have been trying to push through moves, and it's weird that they're doing it now when they weren't doing it before. Why are you trying to push through a move now that we've got to the Champions League when no one was complaining when we didn't even get Europe last year? A strange one, I will admit. So there have been some outs, been some ins. Very few, though, in all honesty. I've tried to keep things kind of sensible. I said in the analysis video that I really want to go after right and left wingers because I felt a lot of the rest of the team was in a fairly good state. I did try to do that. We've had a nice general focus, short-term focuses on both of those sides. But honestly, the players that I found that were sort of rated highly, I had a look at them and I compared them to what we already had, and there was no discernible difference. I found one guy that looked quite solid. I actually compared him to Dario Santana and realised Santana was vastly superior in every way, even PPM-wise. So, I don't know. And it would have cost us about £60 million in total to actually bring this guy in. So actually, I think what it is I don't know, to be honest. But I have still made a large signing, more out of the case of this is just too good to turn down at this particular point. So I had to shift some money around, and a big sale, probably our biggest sale actually ever, has gone out too. Not who you'd imagine it'd be though. So we're going to jump straight into that now. We're playing Wolves today at home. First match in our stadium on the Friday night. Under the lights. I can actually say on the night for once and it'll be completely correct, which is a nice turn up for the books, eh? And I made one slight change to the tactic as well over the summer. I noticed that we rarely ever score crosses. And when we do, it's almost always a low ball that's turned in by Guerra or a ball to the back post that's swept home. So I've put them on low crosses because we don't score that many of them anyway, and I figured that might just about give us a bit of an advantage. And based on some of the results we've been getting in the friendlies, because we almost always play the same teams in pre-season just because I'm lazy, we got 21 goals in one match. And Guerra's been getting way more assists too, and it's not just for like the defenders either. So, outs first. First out is Ryan Mullet, a youngster. He's moved to Norwich for £800,000 with a 50% an XL fee clause. He's not as good as that. He was only like 2-star potential. My scouts have this weird thing of overestimating players, as we've seen in the past with the guys we brought in, as we've seen as well with a guy I brought in literally this summer, who was rated at 5 stars, and then it went down to this the moment he joined us. Even when you've got them 100% scouted by a scout that has like 19 player potential, they get them wrong way more this year, I'm finding. And it's kind of, what's the point in having those attributes? But sure, Issa and Peppo has left. He's joined Monaco. Yeah, it was always going to be a difficult situation for us, really. We couldn't really do anything about it. He wouldn't sign a new deal. I've liked his time at the club. I think he's done okay for us, really. 30 goals in 97 league appearances. I liked the guy, but once that contract dispute came to a head, it wasn't going to really happen for us, unfortunately. And Harry McGuigan has also left after spending 5 years on loan at Scunthorpe United. He's now joined Middlesbrough to play in the Championship for them, and I think that's actually a good spot for him. Scored a goal on his debut for Borough. Also, you might notice some slight changes here. I updated the skin because I thought that might be causing some problems. Turns out it wasn't, but now we have a newer version of the skin, which for those of you wondering is TCS. This is the 1.3.1 version. Yes, Lamjed Chitiyu has left the club to join Roma. Now, there is a reason for this, and that is quite simple. And I know in the analysis video, I was like, I feel like he's got a long-term future here, and I sort of did feel like that, but I don't think it was really suiting the style of play we used, and he did have a purpose, but I basically had to sell him to facilitate a transfer of a player in the exact same position, because I didn't want to bring in a guy for big money, and this is the big sale, a big signing I made, and then have 3 guys in this role, because it just would not work. So we were able to sort of farm out. He's gone to Roma for £25 million in the end, which I think was a bit less than we could have got. Leeds did offer more. They offered, I think, 33, and I was obviously went for that because they were the first team to come in. But then he refused to actually talk to Leeds. Or refused their contract, which I think they offered him the same he was on here. And I can kind of see why he may wanted to have gone somewhere else, to be honest. Because, yes, it cost us a bit in the end because he eventually went to Roma. But frankly, there was 3 other bids on the table and they all wanted us to pay his wages too. Most of them anyway. So Roma didn't. He's gone there. He's on 115 grand a week now. And I think he's a fantastic player. He's done well for us over a little while. But I just think the guy that I've replaced him with is going to allow the... Hugo Fernandez, I think there's going to be less pressure on him this year because of the new guy, basically. But this was the only real big out. But you can see £25 million earned us a lot of extra moolah. Now, in terms of players joining us, I think I already showed you this guy a little while ago. Andreas Damgaard is coming in from Norgeland. He's in midfield at £3.5 million. Again, he's one for the future. But I really did want to pack out the team with these types of players because we never quite... The problem we've got, and I've had this problem on previous saves, not always, but often in the rebuilding saves, we don't get enough money to sign players that are actually currently at the level that the club is at. And as a result, we still have to rely on this. It usually takes us being in the Champions League for about 4 or 5 years, often, before we can actually start picking up the players that are already at Champions League level. Now, since I didn't want to purely be relying on Kostel Trofin as our first choice striker, I picked up this lad for £1.2 million. Elias Maluleki is coming in from Orlando Pirates. He's a South African striker with 1 cap for South Africa. This is fine. This is not great, I'll admit, but 1.5 million, remember, and he's not on huge money. But I liked a lot of the rest of the stuff about him. Good dribbling, good finishing, good first touch. His composure's okay, and his anticipation isn't too bad either. And that is Andreas Svensson, who's coming from Esbjerg over in Denmark. This is one of those signings. It's only cost us 1.5 million, so they're relatively short. They're not short-term signings so much as they are like not large outlays for us, essentially. Once again, he was valued at, 5-star potential, but when he actually joined us, a little bit less than that. I've shown him a couple of times in these preseason episodes. Augustin de los Santos, £60,000 from Central Espanyol over in Uruguay. And when I saw him join, I was like, oh, that was that guy I signed up 3 or 4 years ago for like 60k. He's going to turn out to be just like all those other players. Apparently not. Apparently he, of all players, is actually a 5-star potential lad. So... out of nowhere, we've actually picked ourselves up what could potentially be an incredibly good right winger just out of nowhere. So in the end, we might have the future of the right-hand side just sitting on this guy. He's brilliant on both feet, which is absolutely fantastic. And this is he. This is Greg Campbell. Yes, that's right. We've actually signed a player from Britain. That's part of the reason I was so excited to actually have this transfer come off, to be honest. I've been looking at him for a little while, and I think I mentioned him last season that I was looking at a guy from Rangers and a guy from Celtic. The guy from Rangers signed a new contract that put his release clause up by like £30 million. I could have got him before, but I wasn't sure about it because I wasn't sure where the finances were at. But Greg Campbell's release clause stayed at 43 million, which is a lot, I admit, but I still think it's more than he is less than he's worth. Now, his crossing and dribbling, not fantastic, but he's still not bad. Great first touch, marking, passing, tackling, everything is excellent. 20 agility, 19 acceleration, and 18 pace. This guy is rapid, and that is enjoyable. But not only is he rapid, he's actually a solid defender too. Like, his marking of 13 isn't great, but it's still pretty solid for a 21-year-old. And 15 tackling is very, very encouraging. And despite only being 5'8", he still manages to have 15 heading, which is very encouraging again. He just seems like a really well-rounded player. And more importantly than that, 43 million was actually his release clause, which we then obviously facilitated by moving money around with the Chittiu deal. But he only wanted 64 grand a week. That was the biggest thing for me that made me go, this guy is definitely a first choice right back for us for many years to come, hopefully. So that's Greg Campbell, a Scottish international, 21 years old. He looks beefy, and I'm a huge fan of this guy. I'm really curious to see what he's going to do. I mean, look at this. In pre-season, 7 assists in 9 games. I think his just pure pace and ability is allowing him to get into good positions. And he's got decent passing too. So I'm a real fan of this guy, and I want to see how he does. Asman's out. Philippe Clement is the manager of Wolves now. I literally have no idea who that is. Yeah, I'm trying to think who actually came up. I can't even remember. It's probably the same teams as always. Leeds, definitely up. Our record against Wolves is abysmal. 1 win, 1 draw, and 7 defeats. They're newly promoted as well, bear in mind, though they did romp the league. Right, you can see there's a few players are a bit unhappy. Stepanek because of the contract, and Suarez because I wouldn't let him leave to join a club in the division below us. He actually handed in a transfer request too, which I've of course rejected. And also, he has a release clause of 86 million, and they were bidding 20, and that was somehow fine. Obviously, Guerra is still wanted, but we're not having any issues with that currently. So, going to do a selection advice anyway. Okay, interesting. They fancy Darren Lever there, which is a strange choice, but I'm not entirely opposed to it. Asman's out, so Hubanov will start. You can see, though, options in the midfield are vastly better than they were before. Sikonic and Tritar in there, but we've also got Piszczek, and there's more in the under-21s that I bring through as well. Yeah, we are not looking good in that position. It's probably going to have to be Senya. Actually, no. I'm going to start with Jean Carlos because I just feel like I don't trust Senya right now. We've got a nice long gap between. Our next game's not till the Sunday, so a bit of a time off in between. Right then. Newly promoted Wolves at home. This is where we flourish, but we also did lose to Watford on the opening day last season, so maybe not. Some of you will, of course, have also noticed that I made that Sean Lancaster's number, where is it? 87, in honour of his wonderful goals in the 87th minute. Okay. You might notice some stuff is looking a bit different. It's because of the skin. You'll notice some stuff when we are in between the actual highlights. It looks very different too. I think they've added some new stuff, which is pretty cool. Particularly on the actual league page too, I've noticed as well. Stepanek. I think it's... Oh, my goodness me. That looked very different, I've got to say. I'll have to have a look at that in a minute. Campbell. Jean Carlos. And he's gone past his man. Still got it. Dubois. Hubanov. There's going to be a long-range strike coming in here, you sense. Guerra. Alberto. And he's going to surely hit the strike. Oh, and it's saved by Livakovic. He's still at Wolves, impressively. Actually, I'm all right with that. It's just weird with everything. It's just a bit confusing, you know? Actually gives us a nice amount of information. Guerra's ball in. And Celso over the crossbar. Good start, though. Very good start. Campbell to pick this up. I want him to learn the knocks ball past opponents trait because that will make his life so much easier considering his dribbling isn't the best. Oh, God. Keenest through the middle. Men surging all the way across him. But so far, we are definitely in the ascendancy here. Celso. Jespersen. Uses Dubois. Oh my God, straight over the top for Guerra. One touch to set himself and he's missed it. Oh my God, that was onside as well, wasn't it? That was an actually really decent opportunity for Guerra there. Stepanek. Campbell. Gets through. Dubois' head. Wow, what a powerful header that was. Encouraging start. But we need to get an early goal. Early-ish anyway. Guerra's ball in and it's Dubois' header and it's cleared again. Despite the lack of shooting, the lack of long shots really, I'm still going to turn off shoot on sight just to give us a better chance of... Oh my Lord. Cheers, lads. Way to respect the craft. And we've conceded from a corner after half an hour. We've had most of the game so far, apart from that one little glimpse Wolves got, but we've really mucked this up here. Oh, dear. I don't know what number 12 there on the line is doing, or not doing, more importantly. I don't know. I've got faith we can turn this around, but it's not what you want to see early doors, is it? Campbell. I want to give him a chance to use some of that pace. Lever could cut inside here. He's going to find the shot. Surely Darren Lever! And Stepanek! Oh, great work. So far, I think would be pretty good value if we were to get back into this match so far, frankly. Oh, and there's the gap. The gap turns out was on us after all. Thacker. Great block. Lane. Good save. Okay. Down the field. It's weird how, considering the high line, usually that's how we get caught out when we play this style of approach. It's the high line. Guerra's already through. And a good save by Livakovic once again there. I feel like it's a bit harsh that we've not scored a goal yet, in all honesty, but that's life. Guerra's ball in. Celso's header. And it's over the crossbar that time. My lord. I kind of feel like we probably shouldn't be losing this game 1-0. Fair play to the Wolves on the chance they created and their goal because we defended it badly. But I feel like we should have taken one of our chances by roundabout now. We're dominating the match, just not somehow scoring a goal out of it. Okay. I'm getting Jean Carlos off, moving Dubois up and pushing Hadji Silla on because he's unfit, which maybe was a bad idea to start him, but also he's not playing well either. So hopefully, second half will be a bit better than the first. Because frankly, I think from a creative standpoint, actually pretty good. Giving up a little too many on the old chances side of things, which is not ideal. Darren Lever. Could he cut inside and find a shot? He does, you know. Stepanek's header, and it's another good chance, frankly. Dubois. Nice work again. He's sitting a bit more... Oh, Lever. Lever looks like he's got a bit about him this season. And Lever with the strike this time. Hubanov. Okay. Oh, ball in this. There's a chance there for maybe a ball through the middle. Stepanek might be able to bring that off himself here. Got a lot of players with him. Here's Greg Campbell. Goes for Stepanek. Ball across, and Dubois' header is over the crossbar. Oh, hello. Darren Lever. That's a good touch, actually. And... I don't know what Guerra's thinking there, but he's managed to get in the way enough to actually make something happen, surprisingly. Hubanov. Stepanek. Campbell. Going all the way through. And Lever's header is now wide. Livakovic and Stepanek will just mop this up. It's bad. Oh, no, he's still got it. All right, please, Thomas. Please square it. Please square it. Oh, my God. Like, I'm going to be honest. If we lose this game, I would still be very, very frustrated, considering I still think we've been pretty damn good, frankly. And done most of the things I'd want us to do. Hubanov. Lancaster. Can he cut through another shot himself? And he does. Jespersen picks it up. Lancaster. The 87. Campbell. Could look around the side for Lancaster, and he does. Lancaster might be able to actually pick out a cross. He does. Guerra! Oh my God. How on earth has he missed that? When you've got players literally missing sitters like that, you kind of start to think it might not be your day. Guerra. Can he take his man on? He has. He's got Lancaster outside him. He's got to take... No, he's going to just go straight... Oh, and Livakovic makes the stop again. I'm going to be honest... That frickin' sucks. Oh, God. When you need a bit of luck. Jesus Christ. I don't think it'd be impossible to say we were the better side tonight. It feels like that was pretty much a stonewall fact of the night. But they did score more goals than us. By the fact that they scored one. And we somehow didn't. after 35 shots, 18 of which were on target, and we still had 5 chances in the match and didn't manage to score a single goal. That's actually impressive. We can change what's on these. That might well be the most shots I've ever had us have in a Premier League match, particularly on target, without managing to score one. 18! And it wasn't like we were just banging him from range, really. We had a few long ranges, and I turned shoot on sight off after not long. You can see what I mean about the more goals. I don't know, maybe that is just one of those pure crazy situations. But we could really not done with losing to a newly promoted club at home on the opening day of the season. You can sort of understand why. Obviously, well, that's going to be a long way away. But I think it kind of has to be, really, our first game in the Champions League for the next episode. Hopefully, things will speed up a little bit now they're out the window. Because if not, that's going to take me about 6 weeks to get to. So, an update on that in the next episode, I expect. Because I'm genuinely concerned about what we were going to have to do if it is actually going to be at the pace it is. Because I shit you not, 45 minutes or whatever to go through 4 days of it is not it's just not possible. And this is a really decent computer now. I just find it so strange that the database has just done this, if it is that, done this now, when 10 years it was totally fine. Weird. Why would the 11th one be somehow worse? Anyway, if you've enjoyed this episode and you're looking forward to the new season, and I hope you are regardless of that start, there's a lot of positives in there, somewhere, then drop a like, that'd be cool. If you're new to the channel, subscribe, and I will join you guys very, very soon. As always, hold your gun, capybara.